It will be back. We don't give up.
It makes me feel proud, proud to be in this community.
I love it here. The people in this town are absolutely great, and I love it here.
It's been a year since the EF3 tornado changed the lives of so many in the town of Monson. Life goes on as the healing continues.
I don't think that it's back to normal, but it will be. Monson's strong, as the signs say,
Things are just things.
Russ Brissett sits at his brand new farmer's porch, looking out over what once was a lush landscape.
I had beautiful trees in my yard. They were probably 50, 60 feet high, nice shade.
10 Stewart Avenue was directly in the tornado's path. Russ was inside, about to experience Mother Nature's fury.
And at 22 minutes after 4, I started to shut the bathroom window because it started to hail.
Brian Harris is the deputy fire chief in town, a fire department that had only 2 firefighters on duty when the storm hit.
Who knows what's going to happen? We've never dealt with anything like this.
It was very eerie.
Sandy Latender has lived in Monson for over 30 years.
The sky was very strange color of yellow, and it was just like nothing was moving. Absolutely nothing was moving. And then...
And as I shut that bathroom window, I heard a jet engine go by.
Very chaotic.
And I was just floating in the air. Then I got thrown onto the basement floor.
It sounded like a freight train coming through.
I didn't dare look up because everything was floating, everything was flying around, and the cellar almost filled up with debris from wherever.
It was incredible.
I couldn't get out of the basement because I was loaded with trash and debris all over me.
The phone lines were down, the radio system was out.
It took only minutes for the tornado to pass directly through Monson, demolishing everything in its path. And when things finally settled, the small town of just over 8,000 people began to take in the devastation.
Just a piece of my house was sitting there. No furniture was left, very little was left.
There were trees down, there were wires down. They said Main Street's wiped out.
We were cut off from 3 directions. We could only get help from the south, which was the state of Connecticut.
I had no roof, I had no second floor. All my appliances were smashed. The whole house was totally right off the foundation, and it was just unbelievable.
Nature.
Almost immediately, the town sprang into action as the community began to rally around each other. Neighbors helping neighbors begin the slow process of putting their lives back together.
That's one of the things that I will never forget in my life. That the way people are so helpful and generous and coming out and picking up pieces of my life.
But people really came together for this, didn't they?
Unbelievably.
Before I could start cleaning up, there was enough volunteers here to know that I was going to stay here forever.
Out here in Monson, the tornado came right over that hill through this neighborhood. You could still see where the trees were sheared off. But of all the homes that were destroyed and devastated here, almost every single one of them is rebuilt, except for this one. But even these folks have moved just across town, right here in Monson.
Soon, the sounds of the storm's fury were replaced by the sound of a town rebuilding.
It was like old Monson.
For us, there really was no choice. There were just too many memories here. Not long before the tornado, Russ experienced an even greater loss.
I lost my wife in December, of which we were married 48 years.
The life they had built here together was gone in an instant. The furniture, the pictures, just about everything.
We have all the memories of my wife, and so we don't have to have all the pictures. And so we wanted to move forward from that day. I did decide to build a new house right on the same foundation.
Which is where Russ and I chatted, on the porch of his new house, overlooking his new yard, in the middle of a town that will never be the same.
There's a lot going on. We have long-term recovery.
And I don't know where the birds went for maybe a month, but they're all coming back now.
A community that 1 year ago went through the worst, united now and stronger than ever.
I'm gonna do what it takes to stay here. I love it here.